AirAsia Flight 8501 is likely at the bottom of the sea. This is sobering news from Indonesia's search and rescue chief. The Airbus A320 disappeared from radar while en route from Indonesia to Singapore Sunday morning. 162 passengers and crew were aboard. I'm Ramy Inocencio for the Wall Street Journal Digital Network. Southeast Asia Bureau Chief Patrick McDowell joins me on the line from Jakarta with the latest. Now, Patrick, the search has resumed this morning. Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, and now Australia and South Korea are contributing resources. What's the breakdown in terms of aircraft, personnel, and boats?
Not all of these assets are in place, but we're talking about approximately 10 sea vessels. The Australians have offered a P3 Orion submarine search plane to help with the search as well. Not all of these are on the scene yet, but we have a much larger search presence than we did yesterday, when really just 2 ships were out there patrolling the area. The weather has been a factor since yesterday. It's kind of soupy conditions. Search and rescue folks are saying that they have 2 kilometers of visibility, which is okay, but not superb. And they have widened the search area this morning to take into account not just the likelihood that what might be the plane is at the bottom of the sea, but also they're just checking out inland areas in Borneo, on the coastline of this area, to see if there might be something there.
Now, weather has been widely discussed as a possible factor for the jet's disappearance. During the early stages of the flight, within 45 minutes, the pilot did radio to ascend from 32,000 to 38,000 feet. What are the details there from the latest from what you're hearing?
There was a very thick, high cumulonimbus cloud formation in the area yesterday that prompted the pilot to want to make this climb. He received permission from air traffic controllers to deviate from his flight path to avoid this weather, and he'd also asked to go to a higher altitude. That permission didn't come. The air traffic controllers said, they would have to wait. Traffic conditions did not look good for that ascent in altitude at the time, and they were pending confirmation from other controllers whether it could go ahead at the time the plane disappeared. So the weather had been a bit of a mystery. It did not cause mass havoc in flights yesterday. There were really very few, if any, flights canceled. Not a lot of reports of other planes taking evasive action. But this is something that people are looking into to see whether that plane just hit the wrong system at the wrong time.
Patrick, most of the passengers on Flight 8501 were Indonesian nationals. Just a handful were from Singapore and Malaysia and a few countries in Europe. What can you tell us about those passengers?
It's very popular for Indonesians to go to Singapore at the holiday season. It's a tradition in many places. It seems that a lot of the Indonesians on board the plane were doing just that. There were tour groups, groups organized by travel agencies, guides for those people who, when they got to Singapore, were going to enjoy the New Year's holidays. There was a family of 10 people that managed to miss the plane, fortunately for them, and survived. They had also planned to go for a tour holiday.
All right, now 24 hours after the plane lost contact, no debris field has been found as of yet. What do you think this might say potentially about the size of the area, or what may have potentially happened?
I've just said in the last few minutes that there has been no signal from the plane's emergency beacon, the locating transmitter that would help lead them to this. And this has caused different theories about why that hasn't happened, perhaps because the impact of the crash wasn't strong enough to activate it. Could have been behind a mountain, which would of course throw off the whole sea theory. Quite a few questions still need to be resolved in this search.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Southeast Asia Bureau Chief Patrick McDowell with the latest on this search as it resumes for AirAsia Flight 8501, which disappeared en route from Surabaya, Indonesia to Singapore.